Hey folks, Quill18 here, bringing you another League of Legends commentary. This time it's as Gangplank. Actually, I had intended to be playing as Shaco. I've gotten a lot of requests for Shaco, and I've finally gotten the ruins necessary for some builds I want to try for him. And so I got in this game, and someone else picked Shaco. I was like, okay. And then I saw Gangplank was free, and I said, okay, well, Gangplank can use all the crit damage runes and stuff like that, so I decided to pick him, and I had not done any research, so what you are seeing here is a very random game. But I figured my whole Corki, I want to go back to Corki at some point and complete, like, Project Corki, but you're seeing the beginnings of, like, Project Gangplank. I know Gangplank's a good hero. He has an excellent ultimate. He's nice and laney phase with his parlay. He's not necessarily the best, like, he can't AoE farm or anything like that, but he can last hit like crazy with his parlay, and he gets bonus gold when he kills something with parlay. Plus, in the laning phase, he's really good at harassing the other team. So, because of his bullets. Very, very powerful in the laning phase. Now, here's a little bit odd, because we're actually one-on-one against a Yi here, and we almost get him, but he's able to cleanse off the Exhaust and Ignite combo, which is too bad, because one more parlay, and I think that would have been it for him. And you're going to see, this Yi is actually really, really good at holding this lane against both of us. He's able to use his, what's it called, like Meditate or something, to really heal well between harassments, and with his Alpha Strike, he's able to, keep the tower damage to a minimum. He does a pretty good job. So, yeah, so here I am with Gangplank, and I don't know what to do, but I do know that some people, when I've seen in game, go with a fairly crit-centric build, right? So I've got a bunch of crit damage runes, and so my red runes are armor penetration, my quintessences are health, which I really am a big fan of, and the yellows and the blues are both crit damage. So I figured, okay, I'll get a bunch of crit damage crit chance items, and see how that goes. The Avarice Blade is quite nice early on, so I start off with the Brawler's Gloves. Now, what a lot of people do, I've seen since then, a lot of recommendations online are to start off with a Meki Pennant, go into a Chalice, and then build into your DPS items. And I do have, some mana issues in here. It's kind of annoying. Like, I don't have any mana items or mana ruins. I may have, like, 1 point in the Utility Mastery that gives you slightly better mana regen. Luckily, Parlay is fairly inexpensive, and once I sort of get used to the habit of how expensive it is and how quickly it recharges, I start to manage my mana a little bit better. So it is a bit of a hard question. If you don't have the mana regen, then you are forced to choose, am I going to use Parlay to last hit, which is important because, A, last hitting is key, and Parlay makes it easier, and also you get the bonus gold. So am I going to be using Parlay to last hit, and therefore make lots of good money, or I'm going to use it to harass the opponent and maybe even get a kill if he gets low enough. And since my mana usage is really limited with this build, I'm going to focus mostly on harassing Yi. It seemed like the best thing to do. Help keep him shut down, make it hard for him to get last hits, and we're going to have a very hard time getting any kills on him here, because he's tower hugging very, very well. Like, he's really doing a very good job in this lane. But it will keep us in an advantageous position. You can see what I'm doing here. I keep checking this bush because they have a jungler on their team that's unaccounted for. I think Olaf? I think Olaf was jungling. And Olaf's someone I've never played, so, I think he's got some built-in lifesteal or something like that, so, I guess he's a good jungler. So I keep checking the bush to see if he's, like, sitting there because I don't want to get ambushed. Now, of course, it does mean I'll probably, run face first into him and then have to fight him, and so I'm going to be ambushed, but I don't want it to happen on his terms when, the mobs are in a bad position and he's full and he's going to come after us or anything like that, so I do keep trying to babysit it. So it'd be nice to have a ward in there at some point as well. So what I am doing is I'm leveling up Parlay as my primary, because it's very strong, and after having played a few more games since this video, I'm pretty convinced that leveling up Parlay first is very key. And then your secondary skill is a big question mark. Like, what do you do there? It seemed like a good idea to have one rank in both, and in fact, I think that's very important. One rank in the, oh shoot, I've forgotten the name. I keep wanting to say scurvy, but no, it's not scurvy. It's not that at all. Scurvy is a whole other thing. Eat citrus? I don't know. Anyway, his W ability, which is his heal, but it doesn't actually heal that much. What's much more important about it is that it actually removes like CC from you. So it'll break like stuns and slows and that kind of crap. So it seemed like a really good thing to have that, but I'm not sure about leveling it up. You level it up, it reduces the cooldown, increases the heal, and the reduced cooldown is quite good. I mean, the heal's not bad either, but I think the real purpose of it is to break CC. So anyway, it seems like a really good ability that you need to have around because it'll help you save yourself from a gank really, really excellently. If you had higher mana regen, if you end up getting the Chalice of Harmony, then the heal portion of it becomes a lot more valid or something like usable, valuable in terms of staying in the lane. As is, I don't have enough mana regen to really be able to use the heal very much. His E ability, is it called what, Raise Morale or something like that? You actually shoot one of your own minions. Well, okay, it has a passive which gives you increased movement speed and increased damage. And if you shoot a minion, then that bonus actually applies to everyone around you, including your minions, I believe. So everyone moves faster, everyone does more damage. Really quite good. Including yourself, so it may... I'm not exactly sure how the math works out. I think maybe it just gives you double the effect, just because the wording's a little bit weird, but I think that's what ends up happening. It gives you double the effect, effectively. And not a shot there. So, as far as leveling something second, I don't know. In this game, I end up leveling my E as my secondary ability. I mean, obviously, my priority is always the ultimate. Okay, ultimate first, but then parlay. And then I level my E, my Raise Morale, as my secondary, because I'm like, well, it'll give me more damage, so my parlay will do more damage and I'll move faster. Since then, I've run a few guides that have suggested leveling up your W ability as your secondary because you want to reduce cooldown so you can break CC more reliably. And I definitely see that as a better thing if you've got the mana regen too. Those particular guides, a lot of them have the Chalice of Harmony, so then you've got more mana, so then you can use the heal, so a better heal is good, and you'll always make sure you have the mana to break it. But in this like super crit oriented build, so there's sort of two ways of doing it, right? One where you start off with the Chalice and then you go with your regular DPS items, which may just be like attack damage items. And the other one is stack crit, more and more crit, lots of Avarice Blades, crit like hell. And in that case, I think that stacking E might be really good because you just kind of want the passive ability there because you're only going to be using your W to break CC and to escape things. But I'm not sure. Like I said, this represents my first game. I've played a couple of games since then, but I don't have a lot of knowledge. This is a really good one. Like, let's learn together. If you have advice, please post it in the comments. Tell me exactly what your item build is, what order you get your abilities in, specific techniques you use. Definitely don't send me a message about it. People do that all the time. They send me a message in my inbox. What's the point in doing that? No, put it in the comments below so everyone can read it. We can have a discussion about it. It'll be awesome. And whatever you do, don't be a dick about it. Like, that's another thing a lot of people do. Like, they get all snarky and they're like, oh, you're dumb, do it this way. Well, fuck you, Like, I understand it's hard having such a small penis that, you've got to kind of validate yourself some other way by looking like you're, all macho and everything. But no one is impressed, okay? No one is impressed in any way whatsoever. So, just present it as a discussion. Hey, here's what I use, and here's why. That's always good. Like, if you're going to tell me your build, if you can sort of say why, like, what's your goal with it? Oh, you want to be able to build up... I don't know, fast attack, or you like to build yours a little more tanky so you can survive this, or whatever. Let us know. Yeah, so, still laning here. Has anyone died yet? I don't think so. We're certainly having a hard time getting to see. I can't believe Meditate regenerates so much health now. And he started with the Doran's Ring, which is really interesting. Probably a great choice, especially as a solo lane. It gives him a little more mana regen, which means he can meditate more often, which means he can Alpha Strike more often. It gives him more hit points, which is key for surviving any early gank abilities. And it gives him more AP, which helps his heal, helps his Alpha Strike. Like, you don't usually think of Yi AP-wise, but early on, and I actually think it did huge things for him in this lane. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about Yi. He's probably someone who I should be playing a little bit more. I don't know if this is something common or if it's not or what, but it certainly seems like a really neat idea for early on. And I don't know if it'll slow down anything later, but it made a huge difference in this lane, and I'm sure that's the reason this tower hasn't gone down. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I misread the map here. R. Heimer, who's the best character in the game, obviously, killed their